Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour, giving fresh impetus to connectivity for eastern Indian state of Jharkhand, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone and dedicate various railway projects to the nation worth over 6.6 billion in Tatanagar, also to flag off 6 new Vande Bharat trains in Jharkhand. Russia warns the Western Ukraine with an uncontrolled escalation of war as Western leaders debate allowing Ukraine to use their weapons for strikes deep into the Russian territory. Surface-to-surface missile fired at central Israel from Yemen, says Israel Defense Force. Missile hits an unpopulated area. No injuries reported so far. India's harvest festival Onam being celebrated today with traditional fervour. President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet people on the festive occasion. A top story: India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a visit to eastern state of Jharkhand today. PM Modi will travel to Tatanagar in Jharkhand and lay the foundation stone and dedicate to the nation various railway projects worth more than 6.6 billion rupees through video conferencing. He will lay the foundation stone for Madhupur bypass line in Deoghar district and Hazaribagh town coaching depot in Hazaribagh district of Jharkhand. The Prime Minister will also dedicate to the nation Kurkura Kanarwan doubling, which is a part of Bondamunda Ranchi single line section and part of Rourkela Gomo route via Ranchi, Muri and Chandrapura stations. The project will help in the increased mobility of goods and passenger traffic considerably. Apart from this, 4 road under bridges shall also be dedicated to the nation for enhancing safety to the common people. And the Prime Minister will flag off 6 Vande Bharat trains. The state-of-the-art Vande Bharat Express trains will improve the connectivity on these routes. And these are Tatanagar to Patna, Bhagalpur, Dumka, Howrah, Brahmapur, Tatanagar, Gaya, Howrah, Deoghar, Varanasi and Rourkela to Howrah. The introduction of these Vande Bharat Express trains will benefit regular travellers, professionals, business and student community. And in line with his commitment for housing for all, Prime Minister will distribute sanction letters to 20,000 Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen beneficiaries from Jharkhand. He will release the first installment of assistance to the beneficiaries. The Prime Minister will also participate in the Greh Pravesh celebrations of 46,000 beneficiaries. And campaigning is in full swing for the first phase of the assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir. 24 assembly constituencies will go to polls in this phase on 18th of this month. Top leaders of major political parties are making all-out efforts to woo the voters. All right, we'll go across to Srinagar now. DD India Shabir Dar is joining us live from there to gather the mood of the electorate ahead of J&K polls. Shabir, tell us about the preparations for the first phase of elections in J&K. How's the atmosphere?
Yeah, these are the very crucial elections happening in Jammu and Kashmir after a gap of 10 years. These are surcharged atmosphere because all political parties are putting in their efforts to galvanize voters. And we are seeing that this surcharged atmosphere is giving a hope that these elections will witness the massive participation of people, especially the youth. The administration too is in full swing in ensuring that foolproof security arrangements and other preparations are in place to ensure that the polls go smoothly and safely. The Election Commission of India has ensured that polling booths are set up and the last mile for the people, be it in the lost villages and the border districts, or home voting for old and sick. Such preparations have been kept, and we have seen that the Election Commission has conducted a lot of information campaigns to inform voters about the importance of voting. So all preparations are in place with the security arrangements are ensuring that free and fair elections happen in Jammu and Kashmir with all facilities in place. Special polling booths are kept in for the women, like the pink polling booths are there. For old people, the wheelchairs and helpers have been kept in the polling booths to ensure that old and fragile people also come to vote. Those who cannot come, home voting facility is also available.
Right, Shabir, also campaigning in full swing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had addressed a rally there in Doda. First visit by a Prime Minister to Doda in decades. Tell us what were the highlights of his address.
Yeah, we have seen that these elections have witnessed that star campaigners from all the political parties, the national leaders from Delhi have come here. And yesterday, the most important rally addressed by the Prime Minister in Doda. First rally by the Prime Minister in Doda, Doda for the elections. Prime Minister rally was very huge. A lot of people have participated in this rally, and Prime Minister made some scathing attacks against Congress and the families, the three families, who have ruled the Jammu and Kashmir for past 70 years. And he said that it is because of the policies of these people that which has taken the root, which has allowed to the terrorism and corruption to take root in Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister made special mention of the development and progress and peace that we saw in Jammu and Kashmir in past decade. He saw that youth have got new opportunities, and in these elections, the fight is between the three traditional families who have ruled the roost in Jammu and Kashmir all these years, and between the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. So Prime Minister made mention that it is the BJP which would ensure that the statehood will be restored to Jammu and Kashmir, and the BJP government in Delhi will be able to do this for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. He said that the changed Jammu and Kashmir, where we see tourism blooming and terrorism is at its last leg. So this will ensure that the era of peace and development will go further ahead.
Okay, statehood, major highlight of Prime Minister's address. But Shabir, what are people saying? Priorities, challenges, what do they want from the government?
See, we are seeing there is the festival of democracy in Jammu and Kashmir, and these are festivities all around. When we are talking to youth, their main concern is, jobs and development. Peace and prosperity is also the top priorities among the electorate in Jammu and Kashmir, because people are making a difference. That what they have seen in the last 10 years, how JNK has been, transformed into a Naya Kashmir. So they have expectations, whichever government comes in power, they want this phase to continue, and they want that jobs, employment, peace and progress be there, and youth have a better future, be it entrepreneurship or in tourism. So any government which comes in power after the elections, these things have to be ensured by the government.
All right, Shabir Dar, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the latest from Srinagar. And today is Engineers Day. On this occasion, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a social media post on X, greeted the engineers who are driving progress in every field, innovating and solving critical challenges. This is what he posted on X. The PM remembered M. Visvesvaraya, whose contribution to engineering is widely known. And India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, has completed his two-day important visit to Switzerland. In a special gesture, Swiss Foreign Minister Ignacio Cassis hosted the External Affairs Minister in Geneva, where the two leaders held wide-ranging discussions on bilateral ties focused on leveraging the trade agreement between India and four-nation European bloc, EFTA, which includes Switzerland. The leaders also discussed global and regional issues of mutual interest. He was on a two-day visit to Switzerland, where he also interacted with the leadership of international organizations in Geneva, including the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, and the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom. He shared India's approach to multilateralism with dignitaries. And as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine crosses 900-day mark, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that both the countries have exchanged total 206 prisoners of war on Saturday, 103 from either side. All the exchanged Russian soldiers are now in Belarus. The United Arab Emirates facilitated the exchange through humanitarian mediation. Ukrainian authorities said on Saturday that this was the second exchange in 2 days. In a telegram post, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that 103 Ukrainian military personnel, including 21 officers, had been released. Meanwhile, Russian officials have threatened the West and Ukraine on Saturday with an uncontrolled escalation of war and destruction of Kiev as Western leaders debate allowing Ukraine to use their weapons for strikes deep into the Russian territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said late on Friday that his plan to achieve victory depended on Washington's decision, a clear reference to the authorization for long-range strikes that Kiev has long sought from NATO allies. And pressure is mounting on Ukrainians in military age to join National Army to replenish dwindling number of combatants against Russia. Ending social benefits is one of the measures that are being suggested against those who are unwilling to join the troops. A suggestion in this regard has come from Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski after meeting with his Ukrainian counterpart Andrzej Sybiha in Kiev on Saturday. Following the meeting, Poland's foreign minister said that European government should halt welfare benefits to Ukrainian men of military age who are living in their countries. He said this will force them to return home and fight the Russians and also save government money.
Stop paying those social security payments for people who are eligible for the Ukrainian draft. There should be no financial incentives for avoiding the draft in Ukraine. It's not a human right to be paid to avoid the draft to defend your country. We in Poland don't do it. There are no social security payments. And if we did, we would have a significant political problem in our country.
And more than 4.1 million Ukrainians had temporary protection status in European Union countries as of July this year, and about 22% of them were adult men, according to data from the EU Statistics Office Eurostat. And as clashes continue from both sides in Ukraine-Russia conflict, the Russian Defense Ministry said in a daily briefing it had liberated the village of Zelenpersh near the key logistics hub of Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk lies on the intersection of a key road that supplies Ukrainian troops and towns across the Eastern Front and has long been a target for Moscow's army. Over half of the city's 60,000 residents have fled since the conflict began in February 2022, with evacuations ramping up in recent weeks as Moscow's army closes in. While Ukraine had hoped its major cross-border incursion into the Kursk region last month would slow down Russia's advances in the east, Russia, however, has claimed this week to have taken back some of its territory in the western Kursk region in a counter-offensive. Well, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Families fear hunger after northeast Nigeria floods. Thousands rally in support of Honduras press Castro. An update on SpaceX's historic spacewalk mission. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. A surface-to-surface missile was fired at central Israel from Yemen, the Israel Defense Forces said on Sunday. The IDF added that the missile hit an unpopulated area. No injuries have been reported so far. Earlier, sirens were sounded across Tel Aviv and central Israel, sending residents running for shelter. And thousands of people continue to protest in Israel, demanding that the government strikes a deal with Hamas to ensure the release of hostages held in Gaza. In Tel Aviv, clashes erupted between police officers and protesters during a highway blockade. Mass street protests resumed in Israel after the IDF discovered bodies of 6 hostages in a Gaza tunnel. The Israeli forces said that captives were shot at close range by Hamas. Around 100 hostages remain in Gaza, at least a third of whom are believed to be dead. And US President Joe Biden and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris delivered forceful speeches at the 2024 Phoenix Awards dinner in Washington, D.C., stressing the need to protect democracy and civil rights in the run-up to the 2024 election. Hosted by the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, the event brought together political, cultural and activist leaders to honor black excellence. Biden warned of rising threats to democracy, likening them to ghosts in new garments aiming to strip away freedoms.
Let's be clear. They're old ghosts in new garments trying to seize your power, and extremists coming for your freedoms. Making it harder to vote and have your vote counted. Closing doors of opportunity. Attacking affirmative action and the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. He says immigrants, black and brown immigrants, poison the blood of our country. Right now, his running mate is attacking Haitian Americans in Ohio. It's wrong. It's got to stop. Any president should reject hate in America and incite, not incite it.
Kamala Harris, a former member of Congressional Black Caucus, emphasized ongoing civil rights advocacy.
While we moved and fight to move our nation forward toward a brighter future, Donald Trump and his extremist allies intend to take our nation backward. They will give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations, cut Social Security and Medicare, and end the Affordable Care Act, which the CBC fought so hard to pass. But we are not going back.
And the evening also celebrated notable figures, including White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, and hip-hop icons LL Cool J and MC Lyte for their contributions to the black community. Now, in a final push to secure Wisconsin, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz urged supporters on Saturday to give their all as the race tightens. Speaking in Superior, Wisconsin, Walz, running alongside Kamala Harris in a heated battle against Donald Trump, called the swing state a battlefield. He encouraged the crowd to have hard conversations with friends and neighbors to rally support for Harris. Walz also called on men to listen to the smart women in their lives, referencing pop icon Taylor Swift, a fellow cat owner whose endorsement of Harris gained over 9 million likes on Instagram. With Wisconsin critical to the campaign, Walz emphasized the importance of every vote in the final stretch.
Kamala Harris did her job Tuesday night. We need to do our job for the next 52 days. Now, I'll go to my grave not understanding why, but I know it's a fact. This is going to be a margin of error race, and it's going to be won in a handful of states. One of them is the state of Wisconsin. So let me, as these guys help me with, put on that coach whistle and get that hat back on. This thing's going to be a battle for the next 52 days.
And Pope Francis' recent comments have sparked debate among US Catholics as they prepare to vote in the upcoming election. During a flight back to Rome, the Pope urged Catholics to choose the lesser evil, criticizing both former President Donald Trump's plan to deport millions of immigrants and Vice President Kamala Harris' stance on abortion rights. His remarks have stirred emotions at New York's St. Patrick Cathedral, where some voters voiced surprise and uncertainty. With 52 million Catholics in the US, their influence could be crucial in the upcoming election.
In my estimation, I can only vote for the person who has the most qualities or characteristics of principle that I can rely on, in which case the lesser of two evils is kind of a compromise.
Lesser of two evils, whichever one you vote for, you are going to, in your mind, no matter if you think they're great, it's still probably going to be the lesser of two terrible choices.
I'm not a person who likes the idea of choosing any evils, so I personally am probably not going to vote this time because I am tired of aligning to what I feel is evil.
We have to educate ourselves about these candidates. We have to get to know more about them before voting. It's not about what the Pope says.
And in a key endorsement ahead of the presidential election, former President and Republican nominee Donald Trump secured the backing of Las Vegas Police Protective Association on Saturday. During the event, Trump expressed gratitude for the support while taking a swipe at Vice President Kamala Harris, criticizing her past experience as a prosecutor.
We have tremendous law enforcement endorsements. We have military endorsements. We have a lot of them. But I just really appreciate it. It's very, very special. But anybody that's a member of Defund the Police, especially a founding member, and even if you're in that group for one day, you can't be president of the United States. All right, and she's one of the founders and stars of Defund the Police, and that's why they have no support whatsoever.
And U.S. Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance made a campaign stop in Greenville, North Carolina on Saturday, rallying support just hours before the East Carolina versus Appalachian State football game. Vance, accompanied by his wife Usha, visited a local sports bar, engaging with patrons, posing for photos and urging voters to back the Republican ticket in the upcoming presidential election. As the election draws near, Vance's visit aimed to energize voters in North Carolina, a key battleground state that could play a decisive role in the race. And in the aftermath of flooding in Nigeria's northeast is raising alarming humanitarian concerns as thousands face displacement, and a sharp triple-digit increase in prices threatens the food security of already vulnerable population. Floods that swept through Nigeria's northeastern Borno state have affected up to 1 million people. Authorities scrambled to rescue residents and put them in temporary shelters. And torrential weather batters Czechia. At least 4 people have died in Central and Eastern Europe due to floods. Residents of some towns along the Czech-Polish border were evacuated as rivers rose past alert levels, with the Czech capital Prague, which suffered catastrophic floods in 2002, put preventive anti-flood measures in place. More rainfall in forecast is in the coming days in the Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, southern Germany and parts of Austria. And Storm Boris floods Romanian village. At least 4 people died and thousands of homes were damaged by flooding in eastern Romania. Tens of thousands of households were left without power in Romania. Prime Minister Marcel visited hard-hit Galati County. The authorities there had set up temporary relief camps with accommodation for displaced people. Evacuations and preparations were underway across Central Europe as heavy rains caused severe flooding in areas from Romania to Poland. And the residents of southern Poland lay sandbags outside their homes as water from the river Baila floods the town streets. With the passage of Storm Boris, the torrential rain that has been falling since Friday is set to last until Monday, threatening the region with the worst flooding in decades in Poland. Poland and parts of Austria are also expected to see more heavy rain. And Myanmar's flooding death toll rose to 74 as of Friday evening after heavy rains triggered widespread floods across the country. Search and rescue operations are ongoing, with at least 89 people missing as of Friday evening, the report said. Adverse weather brought on by Typhoon Yagi, the strongest storm to hit Asia this year, has killed many people in Vietnam and Thailand, and flood waters from swollen rivers have inundated cities in both the countries. The migrants arrive on Cayuco boats at La Restinga port on Canary Island in Spain. A steep rise in number of arrivals of migrants in Spain's Canary Islands from Africa has fueled a fierce debate in the country over how to tackle illegal immigration. Over 22,000 migrants have landed in Canary Islands so far this year, compared to just under 10,000 during the same time last year. And Venezuelan officials arrested 6 foreign nationals on Saturday, accusing them of plotting to destabilize the country. Among those detained were 2 Spaniards, 3 U.S. citizens and a Czech national. Venezuelan Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello alleged that the Spaniards had links to Spain's Secret Service and were planning the assassination of a mayor. Spain's government has denied these claims. Cabello also accused the Americans and Czech of involvement in terrorist plots, including an assassination attempt on President Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. State Department denied any involvement in an overthrow plot, calling the allegations categorically false. Diplomatic tensions between Spain and Venezuela have escalated, with both countries recalling ambassadors after Spain criticized Maduro's government. And thousands of supporters of Honduran President Xiomara Castro marched through Tegucigalpa on Saturday, protesting an alleged coup plot she claims her opponents are organizing to overthrow her. From early morning, Liberal Party members, government employees and military personnel gathered outside the presidential palace for the rally. Castro addressed the crowd, urging them to prevent a repeat of 2009 coup that ousted her husband, former President Manuel Zelaya. The demonstration follows last week's anti-government protest, where demonstrators called for Castro's resignation and backed an extradition treaty with the U.S., which Castro intends to end. Protesters accuse her and her family of protecting drug traffickers, heightening political tensions in the country. And fuel truck explosion rocked Haiti's southern peninsula on Saturday, killing at least 24 people and seriously injuring several others. The blast occurred near the coastal city of Miraguane in the Nips department. Prime Minister Gary Conille visited the scene, expressing condolences and overseeing rescue efforts. He confirmed that some of the most critically injured victims were airlifted by helicopter for urgent medical treatment.
It's a horrible scene we have just lived. Many dozens of victims wounded, severely burnt. Many had been evacuated to Kayes. Unfortunately, we could not take those who were the most serious because the helicopter couldn't fit them. As we speak, there is a group of ambulances that are trying to get there as fast as possible by road to recuperate those who have been burned at more than 80% of their bodies. We have tried to come with these we could take. Unfortunately, just like it is often the case in these horrific scenes, we came to find all the doctors, nurses, everyone that has a medical skill mobilized in the hospital to help them, to help the victims. We promise to do everything we can to assure that the hospital has the material.
And former Peruvian President Alberto Fujimori was laid to rest on Saturday after 3 days of national mourning. His casket was escorted to the National Palace, where current President Dina Boluarte and her ministers paid their final respects during an official ceremony before a motorcade took him to the cemetery. Fujimori, the son of Japanese immigrants, passed away at 86. He is remembered by many Peruvians for rescuing the country from economic turmoil in the 1990s and defeating the Shining Path terrorist group. However, others condemn his authoritarian regime, which was linked to military atrocities. Fujimori was sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2009 for human rights abuses, but was controversially pardoned and released last December. All right, still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. A celebration of women's empowerment with Indian Women Dubai Awards 2024. We'll tell you more about this.
issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
All right, welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Recap of what we have done so far. Russia wants the West and Ukraine with an uncontrolled escalation of war as Western leaders debate allowing Ukraine to use their weapons for strikes deep into the Russian territory. India's Harvest Festival Onam being celebrated today with traditional fervour. President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet the people on the festive occasion. India's national public service broadcaster Doordarshan completes 65 years of its glorious existence. Established on September 15, 1959, it marked the beginning of India's broadcasting era. The Indian Women Dubai Awards 2024 took place in Dubai on Saturday night, honouring the achievements of Indian women contributing in various fields of excellence across the UAE. The event celebrated empowerment, resilience and unity, showcasing the impact of women who are shaping the community. More than 30 awards were presented recognizing women for their achievements in areas of technology, entrepreneurship, healthcare and arts. The evening was also packed with moments including fashion shows showcasing Indian elegance with modern styles. Now, Onam is being celebrated across the world among the Malayali community with traditional fervour. The festival is mainly celebrated in the South Indian state of Kerala. The festival is connected with the return of Asura or demon king Mahabali, under whose reign everyone lived in happiness and equality. As part of the Onam festivities, homes are decorated with beautiful floral carpets called Pukkalam of various designs and colours. Onam Sandhya, which comprises various traditional vegetarian dishes, pickles and desserts served on a banana leaf, is the highlight of the festival. Major temples including Sabrimala, Sri Krishna Temple at Guruvayur and Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple witnessed heavy rush since the wee hours of the morning. And India's President Draupadi Murmu, in a social media post on X, greeted the citizens on Onam, particularly to brothers and sisters in Kerala. The post further stated that during this festival, we celebrate the new harvest and show our gratitude to Mother Nature. May this festival bring peace, prosperity and happiness to all. That's what she posted on X. And Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankar, in a social media post on X, said on the occasion of Onam, and I quote him, Onam weaves communities together through cherished traditions and serves as a heartfelt reminder for the enduring values of compassion and sacrifice. May the spirit of Onam fill everyone's life with happiness and prosperity. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveyed his greetings on the occasion of festival of Onam. He wrote on X, and I quote him, wishing everyone a joyous Onam. May there be peace, prosperity and wellness all over. This festival celebrates the glorious culture of Kerala and is marked enthusiastically by the Malayali community all over the world. All right, let's go across to Aranmula in Kerala. DD India's Sam Kadammanitha is joining us live from there. Sam, festival season has started. How's this vibrant festival of Onam gracing the state of Kerala? Temples must be witnessing heavy rush.
Yes, Abhishek Mahajan. The Malayali people are celebrating Thiruvonam today all over the world, irrespective of caste and religion. Of course, Onam has a religious significance. Mahabali was a righteous and benevolent Daman king who ruled Kerala and was loved by his subjects. His reign is believed to have been a golden age of peace, prosperity, and equality. However, due to his growing popularity and power, Devendra and the other gods became concerned that he might overshadow them. They sought help from Lord Vishnu, who took his fifth avatar, Vamana, to subdue Mahabali. In the myth, Vamana approached Mahabali and requested 3 steps of space. Mahabali, being generous, agreed. Vamana then grew to a cosmic type, covering the earth with his 4th step and the heavens with his 2nd step. With no space left, Mahabali offered his head for the 3rd step. Pleased with his devotion and humility, Vishnu granted Mahabali the boon of visiting his people once a year. Onam marks this annual visit of King Mahabali to Kerala, symbolizing the return of prosperity and happiness. Of course, all the temples are busy today. Hindu people are offering prayers to Lord Vishnu during Onam, especially in Vamana form. Temple households everywhere having special pujas, and people seek blessing for peace and prosperity. Mahajan.
Right, Sam, we can see, I believe you are standing outside a temple, but Onam also marks the end of harvest season in Kerala. Tell us, how do people celebrate? What all do they do on this festival, and what all activities take place?
Yes, of course. The Onam is an harvest festival also. The celebration of Onam are conducted in 10 days from Attam Day. The name of the 10 days are Attam, Chitira, Chodi, Vishakam, Nanidam, Triketa, Moolam, Puradam, Uttaradam, Tiruvonam. Today is the last day of Onam celebration. Today is Tiruvonam. The biggest highlight of today's celebration is Tiruvona Sadhya. The Malayali people all over the world trying to be with their family where they are, and they are trying to be with their parents, children, everyone, and they are preparing Onam Sadhya together. And the highlight of today is family being together and having Onam Sadhya. As, like that you mentioned in the lead, that today's Sadhya is serving in a banana leaf.
All right, Sam, we'll leave it at that. Happy Onam to you. Thank you for your inputs. And operating in the beginning from the premises of the then All India Radio, Doordarshan, India's national public service broadcaster, has come a long way in connecting with the masses. On this day in 1959, it completes 65 years of its glorious existence. DD India's Tanvi Taneja reports.
Doordarshan means the glimpse of all afar in Hindi. It started as a modest telecast experiment on 15th of September in 1959. A leading European company exhibited its closed-circuit TV equipment at an international exposition in India in 1959. At the end of the expo, the equipment was gifted to the people of India. In the beginning, television transmission was limited to half an hour, twice a week, with the program content reflecting the developmental priorities of the nation. The viewership was confined to members of 20 tele-clubs started by the government in Delhi. Bulky and expensive television sets were provided for community viewing. Subsequently, 250 schools in Delhi joined the viewers, and programming focused on educational content. This was the genesis of Krishi Darshan, a program dedicated to the farmers. Almost unnoticed at first, news in Hindi made a humble beginning in 1965, with the transmission limited to a very short range in the vicinity of the national capital. By 1972, Doordarshan services were extended to Mumbai and Amritsar, and then on to 7 other cities by 1975. Doordarshan and All India Radio were bifurcated on April 1st, 1976. Subsequently, a signature tune was composed by Pandit Ravi Shankar. This ushered in an era of self-confident assertion. The years that followed saw Doordarshan News breaking many barriers. Reporters were sent out to cover national and international events. The coverage of the Asian Games in 1982 was a major turning point, with New Delhi playing the host. Coloured TV was introduced on the eve of the Asian Games. The country even saw the Indian victory of the Cricket World Cup in 1983 on Doordarshan. Indians were spellbound as Doordarshan telecast the first Indian cosmonaut, Rakesh Sharma, orbiting in space. Doordarshan was coming of age. This was the time when some of the programs of Doordarshan became blockbusters. Programs like Hum Log, Bunyad were powerfully evoking a magical spell over audiences. We've all heard from our elders as to how the streets of India used to be deserted when the mythological series Ramayana was telecast in the late 1980s. Many other long-running series were setting the standards of TV broadcasting. Mahabharat, Bharate Khoj, Malgudi Days, Ghalib, Circus were all real blockbusters of the time. Cut to the 21st century. In an age of the breaking news, Doordarshan continues to maintain its tradition of providing accurate and up-to-date content to its viewers. Its own English international channel, DD India, caters to not only domestic but international audiences. It proudly collaborates with other public broadcasters like that of Germany's DW and many other independent news agencies.
UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak.
Over the years, Doordarshan has carried the aspirations of a billion-plus population and remained conscious of its responsibilities of a public service broadcaster. On 15 September today, we from the entire Doordarshan family invite you to be a part of our celebration. Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
And today is International Day of Democracy. This year's theme for the International Day of Democracy is focused on the importance of artificial intelligence as a tool for good governance. In his message for the observance, Secretary General of United Nations Antonio Guterres noted that AI or artificial intelligence has the potential to enhance public participation, equality, security and human development, but warns that if left unchecked, its dangers could have serious implications for democracy, peace and stability. Effective governance of AI at all levels, including internationally, is crucial, states the Secretary General, recalling that the High-Level Advisory Body on Artificial Intelligence recently released a report with recommendations on harnessing AI benefits while mitigating risks. All right, now let's take a look at other stories making news. On the auspicious occasion of birth anniversary of Sri Guru Ramdas, the Golden Temple in Amritsar gets illuminated by display of fireworks. This annual celebration saw devotees gather to honor the fourth Sikh Guru. The sky above the Golden Temple glittered with dazzling fireworks that cast an ethereal glow over the sacred waters of the Sarovar. Many devotees and visitors described the event as a surreal experience with this spectacular fireworks display. In Warangal, a stunning Ganesh idol made entirely with foam flowers has captivated the attention of devotees and art enthusiasts. The foam flowers, crafted in various sizes and colors, mimicking the beauty of real blooms but with the added advantage of longevity and eco-friendliness. Visitors appreciate the effort and craftsmanship that went into creating such a vibrant and beautiful tribute to Lord Ganesh, promoting sustainability and creativity. A unique painting by Vadodara-based artist makes waves in the art community, celebrated for his distinct visual style and innovative approach. Known for pushing the boundaries of traditional art forms, the artist's latest creation blends abstract and realistic elements, resulting in a mesmerizing piece that captures the viewer's imagination. The painting stands out due to its vibrant use of colors and textures, creating a sense of depth and movement. And India's indigenous fighter aircraft program is set to reach a new milestone as the light combat aircraft Tejas joins the Indian Air Force in a new and more advanced form. Manufactured by the Defence Research and Development Organisation, the LCA Mk2 represents a significant upgrade from its predecessor with improved technology, marking a crucial development in India's efforts to boost its self-reliance in defence manufacturing under Make in India initiative. In the second phase of Indian Air Force Tarang Shakti 2024 exercise has commenced, marking a significant development in India's defence preparedness. This large-scale exercise is part of a series of military drills aimed at enhancing operational readiness, improving joint coordination and strengthening the capabilities of the Indian Air Force across various domains of air warfare. Alright, we'll slip into another short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. India continues impressive run at the Chess Olympiad in Budapest. Paris bids last farewell to the Summer Games. And in cricket, England to take on Australia in the third and final match of the T20I series in Old Trafford. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. An update on SpaceX's historic spacewalk mission, the SpaceX Polaris Dawn mission, which conducted the first ever spacewalk by non-government astronauts, is returning to Earth on Sunday. The splashdown to Earth is scheduled to take place off the coast of dry Tortugas, Florida. A live webcast will be carried by SpaceX starting around an hour beforehand. The four-member team, led by fintech billionaire Jade Isaacman, launched from the Kennedy Space Center on Tuesday, quickly journeying deeper into the cosmos than any humans in the past half-century as they ventured into the dangerous Van Allen radiation belt. Now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. As part of the International Coastal Cleanup Day on September 21st, volunteers descend on the historic Robben Island coastline with bags in hand to gather plastic and other waste that washed up on the beach and between the rocks and shrubs. Robben Island is a World Heritage Site. More than 100 volunteers took the 30-minute ferry ride from the Table Bay Harbour to participate in the cleanup. London-born designer Richard Quinn brought bold designs to the catwalk at London Fashion Week as the UK capital hosted international fashionistas for its second day. His collection saw models in flowery, sparkling sequin and brightly flowered dresses. A live choir and orchestra provided music. Florals adorned some of the designs. London Fashion Week 2024 runs until September 17, marking 40 years of the fashion event. An artist came together on a group of sandbanks in southern Croatia to create elaborate yet fleeting sand art. The Sand Art Neretva Festival at the mouth of Croatia's Neretva River brings together artists from across the world to celebrate the ephemeral practice of drawing in the shifting sandbanks. The artists used rakes and sticks to create intricate designs visible from above, marking the 4th year of annual Sand Art Neretva Festival. And Russian amateur gardener broke national records by growing an 817-kilogram pumpkin, about the average weight of a bull, at a competition in Russia's oldest botanical garden. The competition was part of the annual autumn festival at the garden. Following the competition, the giant pumpkins and a variety of other vegetables are put on display for the visitors. And union leader John Holden said on Saturday that the Boeing strike could go on for a while as workers are confident they can secure larger wage increases and better pension benefits. The members of the International Association of machinists and aerospace workers rejected Boeing's initial contract offer, which Holden had supported. The offer included a 25% pay raise over 4 years and a commitment to build the next commercial jet in Seattle. Holden said the priorities for his members were a bigger wage increase and the restoration of a defined benefit pension scheme that the IAM lost during a previous round of negotiations with Boeing a decade ago. The strike, which has impacted the production of Boeing 737 MAX, followed a vote in which over 94% of workers rejected the proposal. Negotiations overseen by federal mediators are set to resume next week. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually flagged off 6 new Vande Bharat Express trains from Tata Nagar. The state-of-the-art Vande Bharat Express trains will improve the connectivity on the routes, which are Tata Nagar to Patna, Bhagalpur, Dumka, Howrah, Brahmapur, Tata Nagar, Gaya, Howrah, Devghar, Varanasi, Rourkela, Howrah. And the introduction of these Vande Bharat Express trains is expected to benefit regular travellers, professionals, business and student community. All right, sports updates now. World champion Neeraj Chopra fell short of winning the men's javelin throw event at the Diamond League final by just 1 centimetre in Brussels, in the capital of Belgium. Neeraj Chopra's throw of 87.86 metre was second best in the finals. Grenada's Anderson Peters won his first Diamond League title with an effort of 87.87 metres, while Julian Weber of Germany was third. This was Neeraj Chopra's 5th appearance at the Diamond League finals. He had become the first Indian to win a Diamond League trophy in 2022. Chess now. India's men and women teams continued their impressive run at the Chess Olympiad in Budapest. They posted identical 0.5 wins in the 4th round. The Indian men's squad clinched a decisive 0.5 triumph over Serbia, while the Indian women's team clinched a commanding 3.5 to 0.5 against France. In the men's category, Doma Raju Gukesh, Arjun Erigyasi and Vidit Gujarati showed their prowess with a series of decisive wins. The Indian women's team, led by Dronavalli Harika, delivered a strong performance against France. Dronavalli set the tone with a win against Diamante Cornette, while Vaishali Ramesh Babu played to a draw. The rest of the team contributed significantly to India's victory. And India's emerging talent Anmol Kharab secured her maiden international title at the senior level by winning the Belgian International Badminton Women's Singles event in Leuven. The 17-year-old Indian badminton player defeated Denmark's Amelie Schulz 24-22, 12-21, 21-10 in a hard-fought finals. Anmol, who made it to the main draw from the qualifiers and was unseeded, had won all her matches en route to the semi-finals in straight games, and all her main round opponents were ranked higher than her. And in Davis Cup, the Indian tennis team found itself on the back foot on the opening day of the Davis Cup World Group 1 tie against Sweden. Ramkumar Ramanathan and N. Sriram Balaji have lost their matches in Stockholm. Balaji lost the opening match against Sweden's number 1 Elias Ymer 6-4, 6-2, while Ramkumar Ramanathan lost to Leo Borg 6-3, 6-4 in the second match. India and Sweden have played 2 of the 5 matches on Saturday. The remaining 3 matches of the tie are scheduled on Sunday, which will feature 1 doubles and 2 single matches if needed. The Indian tennis team is yet to win the Davis Cup but has finished runners-up thrice in 1966, 1974 and 1987. And Paris bid a last farewell to the Summer Games with a parade of 182 Olympic and Paralympic athletes in the city. Gold medalists in the Paris Games greeted crowds who relived the joy of the Olympics and Paralympics. Athletes said it was full of emotions and special joint celebration of athletes from both games, as well as fitting close to a successful run. Some 70,000 spectators, volunteers and public sector workers were expected to attend the parade on Saturday afternoon. Cricket now. England will take on Australia in the third and final match of the T20I series in Old Trafford on Sunday. Earlier, England levelled the series after beating Australia by 3 wickets in the second game. With both teams having a win in their bag, it will be interesting to see who will win the series decider. Both the teams have plenty of firepower and a stock of exciting young talent that has shown in the series. And once a bastion of global terrorists and Islamic State stronghold, the Iraqi city of Mosul now has a bustling nightlife. Within a few years, after the fall of the terror group, Iraq's second largest city is now completely changed. Residents are rediscovering the art of having a good time as they have seen the worst. Iraqi families are enjoying their time at the restaurants, cafes and amusement parks. The public places are open till late night. Alright, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.